All right, my name is Jara, and I am a Spanish 2 teacher here at Haltom High School, and this is Coach Ward, and he is also a Spanish 2 teacher here at Haltom. How do you think your lesson went?
I thought the lesson went well, since it was basically sort of review of what they did in Spanish 1 last year. And it turns out that there are several kids that didn't get the concepts that we were doing, and I've got some work to do, gonna do some reteaching on that.
Okay, all right, so let's look at what they didn't learn. I see from, the student examples here that they understood the first step, right, of conjugating the verb into the stem changers, yes. So they knew that step 1, okay, they had to know the rule and change the stem. What they were confused about, or what they didn't do, was that they didn't look for the pronoun and then conjugate the verb according to the pronoun, the ending.
Yeah, the present tense endings, right.
So I see that they show a lack of understanding there.
Yes.
How do you plan on reteaching this, and what steps are we going to take to?
So Monday when we come back, we're going to go over the test step by step.
Okay.
We'll talk about the stem changing endings first, and then we'll hit home on the present tense AR, ER, and IR endings. I'm going to go back into the book, get back into my videos, and just methodically go back through, cover things that we had already covered that I thought that they understood, because we had done some worksheets and some book work and some oral examples one-on-one, and I thought they had it down, but either had test anxiety or just got frustrated and just wanted to be done with it. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but yeah, so reteaching is definitely going to have to be done.
Okay, so what I would like to see is maybe having some sentences up there and actually like writing out the steps for them, saying this is what it should look like. So we have a sentence there, say, hey, Pablo, look for the pronoun, and look at the verb. Okay, is it an AR, ER, IR verb? Okay, so what ending are we gonna have to use here?
Right.
And then since they did understand the concept of the stem changer, maybe that will help them out, just writing those steps out for them.
Right.
So I would like to see that in your lesson plan, just scripted out exactly what you're gonna tell them. And
so one of the things that I'm going to do, as you know in Spanish that we do with T-charts, so we have a singular side and a plural side. Really hit home the singular side of the, like for AR verbs, the O, as, a. Make sure they understand that yo, the I goes with O, tu goes with a, etc. That's one of the things I think the 5 or 6 kids that really struggled, I don't think that they understand, like you said, the subject pronoun agreement with the verb endings. So that's what I'm going to really have them come up individually, go to the board, and each one of them will draw out the chart for me.
And I think you're right here, because if you see, sometimes our sentences have nosotros, it's the given, right? Nosotros, go look at the nosotros chart. But whenever you have Alicia or you have Ana y yo, right? So Ana y yo, they don't know, okay, Anna and I. They still struggle there, and they don't understand.
It's the same.
Exactly, it's the same. Exactly. Right. So, you think that anything else like affected them? Was there an outside factor that maybe affected their scores?
Sure. Our Skyward program keeps a running total of the averages for the class. So my first period class performed second best. My second period class really did well. They performed first best. My third period class was right in the middle, but my class sits immediately after lunch, they were the low performers. They come in, they're all hyped up after lunch. They've been with their friends for however long they've been to. It takes them a long time to settle down. I don't think they were very focused. So my job is to get them more focused, and especially that class period, that's where 3 of my worst grades came from, individual grades came from. So I've already talked to those kids because I've given the test back to them, and we'll go from there when we come back.
Okay, and so what I would like from you is that maybe keep a data sheet, and see if you know, after you talk to them, after you let them know what's going on, maybe on the next exam, you can see that they'll probably, you know, hopefully they'll perform better than what they did this time around. The exit ticket, I'm gonna have to cut and snip and add.
Well, let's do that ticket.
So, Coach Ward, how do you plan on making sure that they learned the mini lesson? So after you do the reteach, how do you plan on assessing?
So the kids who made below 70, to have mastery in our district, it's 70 or higher. So what they'll do is I'll have the same test. It'll be, the questions will be jumbled up, the word bank will be jumbled up, and they'll have to perform the same exact filling in the blank with the correct stem change and the correct endings and everything like that. And we'll go from there. And if I need to reteach a couple of kids after that, I'm going to keep doing it, because, you know, teaching a foreign language, just like speaking English, you can't move on to one thing unless you've got the foundation of this is the most important thing, is knowing who's doing the action, because you can't mix them up. So
Yeah, exactly.
that's what I'm going to do.
All right, thank you, Coach.
You're very welcome.